Guardians of the Galaxy 3. When I went into the movie, I was really excited because James Gunn always knows what to do with it. He's really good at characterization. I was really excited because he's probably my favorite character from the Guardians, second to probably Chris Pratt. I just
He's
love
one of
Chris
my
Pratt
favorite MCU characters, bro. Just
hands
period.
down.
Full stop, bro. He's so good. He's so badass. I love Rocket. It was unexpected that like the movie was more so following his storyline than anybody else's, but like I wasn't exactly mad about that.
I probably almost teared up a couple times just cuz just like pitch meeting said, so who's the villain? Like it doesn't matter if he's hurting animals. He's like everyone's gonna hate him, and I wasn't a big fan of the villain. He wasn't that menacing, especially for what's his face.
The High Evolutionary. There was a lot of kind of cartoonishness with this one that to a
Exactly,
degree
very
I didn't
cartoony.
fully appreciate, like the when they went to the Orgo Corp thing, the whole skin building thing, and then the skin suits that they were like, it was just goofy. It just
Yeah,
looked
it was like Spy Kids
ridiculous.
almost.
Yeah, very Spy Kids, and I didn't appreciate that entirely. But it was funny, like it was kind of funny. But like the building just being made out of skin, I was just like, this is gross. I don't like this. I don't like what's going
hmm
on. I don't, not a
I
fan
don't
of.
know what I don't know where to put this movie though, in order. So obviously the first one is my favorite. The second one was good. I almost, I think I am gonna put this one second. Number three as the second best one out of the three. How do you feel about it?
The way I felt about this movie coming out of the movie theater, in terms of like the MCU as a whole, was that I hadn't felt that level of emotion from an MCU movie since Endgame. And yeah, I had like some of that with No Way Home, where they brought in a lot of the old characters and stuff like that, where there was just a lot of like fan service. But I was a fan. I appreciated the fan service. I loved it, you know. But for me personally, I didn't feel the level of emotion that I've felt since Endgame up until Guardians 3 happened. And I think like yeah, the whole animal cruelty thing just kind of like was like really really pushed in on that, you know, pushed that button really hard. But they just had a lot of moments that like just kind of welled some tears up in my eyes. When I was watching Endgame, bro, I remember just crying in between two other women who were just and so I was like, I could be a bitch too. Like just terrible, you know? And like I've looked for that since, just that level of like emotional connection to the story where you really feel yourself, your own emotions get altered by what is happening, you know?
hmm
And so Guardians 3 did that for me, in a way. There was a lot of really like awkward humor. The whole Gamora and Peter thing was just kind of like,
I miss you so much.
I watched the movie again, and it was like since I kind of understood it, it was like more bearable. But like on my first watch, it was just kind of like this is just so weird. Like it makes you uncomfortable. But like I get that's part of the humor, you know. Um, but otherwise, like dude, it was I loved that movie as a whole. The battle sequence inside that hallway towards the end of the movie, the one take, the one shot, uh,
Yeah.
where it was like 6, 7 minutes straight of like one take battle scene, was some of the most wonderful cinematography I've ever seen in my goddamn life. Just beautiful, beautifully, wonderfully done. I fucking loved it. I thought it was amazing. I thought Drax's arc was that punched me right in the chest.
I
Beautiful.
know.
I don't think you were meant to be a destroyer. I think you were meant to be a dad.
You weren't born to be a destroyer. You were born to be a dad.
Holy shit.
Damn.
Holy shit. And just the
Wow.
way that he was like that arc in itself made this one of my favorite MCU movies. That was one of those things that like brought genuine emotion and tears from me was Drax. Just the change of like Drax the Destroyer to Drax the father, you know?
You are the father.
Dang.
This figure that all these kids understand, who he can speak to them.
Hello, dumb idiots.
They get him.
Yo, you do.
And they were terrified and afraid of everything. And then this guy, the Destroyer, came and made them laugh, made them giggle, made them feel like everything was gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Like that was just such a beautiful thing. And then Rocket discovering all the baby raccoons and in turn discovering that he himself was actually a raccoon. And just that moment, there was just so many and then Cosmo being told that she's a good dog, like
She's a good dog.
oh
Yeah, Cosmo was funny.
that
That was
God.
good. Yeah.
It was
He
just
really pulled our heartstrings. He's so good at characters, man. I'm
Yeah.
glad that he like left on a good note because he
He-
could have
he-
said like, you almost canceled me. Like
They
now I run
needed-
DC.
Right.
I am
Yeah, right.
DC.
Dude,
So-
I would argue that they 100% needed James Gunn to do that in order for
Absolutely.
any level of hope to be kept for Marvel and the MCU and what they're doing next. Because for the most part, it's just been-
He's so good at space opera, and he's really good at like quirky characters.
Yeah.
I know, dude. I know that he pushed The Flash really hard. He's like, wow, this is one of the greatest films.
I heard it was a flop. Haven't seen it. Have you seen it? Have you watched it yet?
Yeah, it's trash.
It's trash.
It's garbage,
I guess
dude.
wanting to watch, but like for me now, literally, I'm like, I'm gonna wait until it's available on streaming and then I'll watch it. I'm not gonna go to the theater for that.
That film had so many problems. One, Ezra Miller being this.
Not a good
How-
person.
How is he in the movie still?
Yeah, exactly, bro. Like, there's allegations against Jonathan Majors, but they're probably about ready to replace him right now, for just smacking a woman up. But again,
Yeah,
like I
well-
said, allegations, allegedly. Ezra Miller's got like cults and shit. Like, he's not a good person.
He can't grow cult fast enough.
He's why cancel culture should exist. That they understand that now because he's a
I'm
terrible
sorry.
person.
He's why jail exists.
Right to jail.
He's
Yeah,
why
there you
the
go, there you
law
go. There you go.
exists.
In jail. Right away.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, bro. Like
He's
nah.
why homophobia exists.
Yeah. And you just had a formula for failure here. It's like them trying to keep Amber Heard in Aquaman 2. You're just asking for it to flop.
Yeah, exactly.
have
Yeah,
rallied
they're
against
like
her.
Amber. We know you really shit the bed.
Dropped a grumpy.
But please, you know,
Yeah.
please,
Like,
please.
like I heard that there was like rumblings and rumors that they were gonna keep her on for Aquaman 2, but like it's been postponed so long. Like, I feel like they know it's not a good idea to keep her in the movie.
Doesn't look good, coach.
I don't know who they hired to vet these actors, but they've got a horrible track record.
Yeah, that's a bad record.
DC, just terrible,
Yo, DC's
dude.
not doing great, man. Like their only saving grace is that Marvel's kind of shit in the bed right now too. No pun
Yeah.
intended. But like literally that's it. But like the new Black Adam movie was just.
I know.
Could have done
I
without
know.
that. Could have done without that. Like I just don't. DC movies, ever since the Christopher Nolan Batman trilogy, I can't get behind DC movies. I can't.
Please!
I'm sorry.
Come on now, dog.
I can't do it.
Come on, man.
It's hard for me to do it. The new Joker movie was pretty good, but I'm sorry, bro. Since Christopher Nolan did, Batman Begins, The Dark Knight Rises, it ain't been the same. It's not been the same. And
Well,
those were
he
what, in, like,
created he created a
2010?
blueprint. He created a whole like mood.
A
For
genre of a superhero movie. A genre of superhero movie. He did. And they're not copying
really
it well.
Yeah, DC really shit the bed with hiring him too, because he hit it so hard. And like the ball went so far out of the park. They're like, we can't find the ball.
You can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Bro, and the crazy thing is too is like with like The Dark Knight Rises, like they had just introduced Robin, like they could have gone into a whole thing with just Christopher Nolan's version of Batman. And
Well, they should have done that. They should have just done dark movies.
They could have, and it would have been amazing. You know what I don't give a fuck about? Ben Affleck's Batman.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
I don't give a shit. I ain't seen not one goddamn thing all the way through that's had Ben Affleck's Batman. I'm sure he's great.
I've come to talk with you again.
In a sense, but bro, like for me, it was Christian Bale. It was Christian Bale. It was Michael Caine. It was Heath Ledger. It was fucking Cillian Murphy, bro. Bruh, it was different. It's different. It was different.
Yeah.
It was just different.
Well,
it was just different.
Yeah, so in this Flash movie, Batfleck also shows up, and you can tell that he's like, I'm just here to get my money. But I did enjoy Ben Affleck, and I think the reason why is because it's dark, it's gritty.
Yeah.
He actually uses weapons and he kills people and he breaks their backs. And we just haven't had that because I think DC has tried to replicate Marvel in every sense. You can have a joke, but it has to be contextual. It has to be natural. Albert in Christian Bale's Batman, he made a bunch of jokes and they were funny, and because he was mocking Batman for all his bruising.
When the building's on fire and he's got the whole beam on him and he's like, what are all those bloody push-ups for if you can't lift them?
If you can't even lift a bloody note.
Exactly.
Beautiful
Yeah.
execution. I love
it's just
Michael
good
Caine,
writing.
bro.
It's good writing.
You can't recreate Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Oppenheimer yet, but either way, like Christopher Nolan is just a different kind of filmmaker, bro.
He's an artist.
It really is.
He's an
Tenet
artist.
was wild, and I still don't understand what the fuck I watched with it. But I'm like, he did something with that, and it's gonna click one day for me.
Do you get it?
It's a little complicated.
Today is not the day.
No. I walked out of that movie and I was like,
What?
What the fuck just happened?
how do you make a movie going backward and forward at the same time? This is peak Nolan.
We didn't understand it. I think it was ahead of its time, and I think maybe in like 2045 we'll be like, but right now we're like, what the fuck did you do?
Yeah. So I'm not exactly sure what the last movie is in DC's whatever this chapter this is that they're doing. I don't know which movie that James Gunn takes over, but I'm hopeful because I know he promoted these other movies and Flash flopped. I'm really excited to see what he's gonna do with Superman.
Well, we'll see how long it takes for that to happen, given there's a whole writer's strike and the actor's strike is happening too now. So
Yeah.
the industry's on hold for a minute.
about that. I'm glad that it's happening because one of the biggest talking points is the AI thing.
Yeah,
Because I'm not huge on AI. I don't think like so technology has given us the ability to do this. I think we're at a point where we just need to stop and take a break from technological progress, especially when it comes to social technology.
it's happening
Um,
so fast.
yeah,
So fast.
they're just gonna put AI in the back instead of putting actual background actors. It takes away so many opportunities from people to actually find their footing in the business and make connections and network. That's how so many actors have come up, by being background actors. And
Mhm.
they just want to take that away. I'm not a fan of that, so I'm glad that's happening. I don't know how long it's
Yeah.
gonna take. I hope it happens fast.
I'm
Because
with it too. I'm with it, but I'm with it in a different way. Like I definitely hope that these people get what they're worth and they get the money that they're paid for. But because it's off, it's gonna put everything in terms of like Hollywood at a standstill. I think it's just an amazing opportunity for small time creators to flourish right now.
yeah,
I think
absolutely,
that's gonna
dude.
get it just because like if it's gonna be a minute before we get some good blockbusters out there, then right now small time creators are just gonna shine. We're gonna carry the industry, in
Yeah,
order that's what
yeah,
and already is, smaller creators are really doing a lot of legwork and getting a lot more
yeah.
engagement and a lot more views than what big time Hollywood shit is getting. So
Did you see Talk to Me?
uh
Um,
no,
okay, so you've seen Raka Raka, right?
I'm not sure what that is.
So they're the Australian YouTubers who had the Marvel versus DC fight, and then they had the Ronald McDonald fight, um, like a bunch of stunts and explosions.
I've
Um,
never seen this.
really?
No idea what
Okay,
this is.
dude. Okay, all right. Once you see it, you'll be like, okay, I think I've seen this.
My
So they've been doing it for 10 years, and they took a break last year. They wrote like a short film, and one of the brothers, he started writing, and he just couldn't put down the pen, and he wrote a full feature. Found a producer in Australia, found financing. They were going to distribute it in the U.S., but the U.S. had too many notes for them, and they're like, let's just do this independently. So they financed it independently through Australia, brought it to Cannes, and then A24 bought their movie.
go.
Yeah, YouTubers.
Let's go, bro.
Yeah,
A24, bro. They're killing it right now, bro. They're coming
yeah,
up. A24.
yeah. It's insane. That's the dream. And they kind of had to go that route. They've always wanted to make movies. They kind of got stuck in the YouTube thing. But when YouTube changed its algorithm to like long format and like punching out things more consistently instead of punching something out less consistently but with more quality,
Mhm.
um that's when the algorithm changed, and they're like, we can't compete with this because our videos are like high production. We have to hire a whole crew. It's like a lot of stunt work, a lot of choreography,
Yeah.
um and they get millions of views, but they can't pump it out every week. And
Yeah.
that's what the algorithm is now. It's like,
Yeah.
you know.
You need
And
to have
so
shit just always constantly coming.
yeah,
Constantly.
it's kind of
People's
annoying.
attention spans are really short. Yeah, and I feel that way too because for me, it's like I want to make things that like stick and like have an impact for like a minute, not just something that's like, oh, ha, 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 okay, what's next? You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like, I can't come up with things that fast. I can't come up
Mhm.
with things that fast. So I want, if I'm doing something, I want it to like land and hit for like a second before we go on to the next thing. I can't just give you the next thing that I want you to focus on what I just did here. I want you to know
Yeah.
what I did, It sounds
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah, because if you give me the time to create something um that's quality, it's gonna look better. It's gonna be
Right.
funnier, you know?
It's gonna have a bigger chance of actually landing.
Hmm.
Give me that extra time, please. Like, you don't need
Yeah.
this right now. Like, there's so many other creators out there. But just don't forget about me.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. What would you rate this movie?
Guardians 3.
Yeah.
I think I would confidently give this one an 8.5.
So I was under the impression that we were gonna see Blue Beetle, but then you watched that and then you reminded me of all the small details that were in this movie. I need to go back and watch it. But because you reminded me of all these small details, I have to give it an 8. It was really good.
For me, it really would. It would land somewhere between a 7.5 to an 8.5, somewhere in that ballpark. I think I might be a
Hmm.
little bit biased because I watched it again last night and I like let it, play with my emotions like that. But it
Hmm.
was for like, I think I would be more giving it that 8.5 in comparison to what most of like Phase 4 was. It was really disappointing to me. I didn't think Quantumania
Yeah,
was very
this
good.
felt it felt like a phase 1 almost. Maybe
Yeah,
phase 2, you
like
know?
I'd say, yeah, like a Phase 2 is starting into Phase 3 or something like that. But it felt more in line with that. And maybe if like the other movies had been better, I might be more like, oh yeah, 7.5 or whatever. But because the movies preceding it were just kind of like, for a minute, they were just really disappointing and let me down a lot. This one just really shined high
Yeah.
above them. I'm really happy that they focused in on Rocket's story. There's no way it wasn't gonna emotionally punch you to just see,
Mhm.
animals getting
Mhm.
abused and stuff, and
Yeah.
wanting to see that. And like I said,
And
also just
especially
Drax's
the voice
arc.
actor being Bradley Cooper,
Right?
like
That's still crazy to me, bro.
he's
That's
such
still wild.
he has so much range, like it's gonna be
Right.
good.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
So,
saying it's good. And like I said too, just Drax's arc, the way that they close out his arc in that movie, it just
yeah, a lot
absolute
of loose ends
masterpiece.
that were tied for sure. And
Really,
I like that.
really beautifully, really.
And it set up Marvel to really screw up the next phase of Guardians without James Gunn being involved. He's like,
Right, good
"Here,
luck.
clean plate. You do whatever you want. I did my thing."
Yep, it was a good movie to me, and I hope that they continue with that trend, even
Yeah.
without James Gunn. Hopefully the coming movies will be just you know, a little bit better, more
Yeah.
thoughtful in the story. Just like that. That's what I really wanted. Was that story was really thoughtful. A lot of things seem to be just kind of like shoehorned and ham-fisted in these days. That it's just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't care about any of this shit. Like, come on. But yeah, that one, it was good. It got me.
Thanks for replacing my co-host this week.
I hope next time that he'd be here with us, because I'd love to have him as a part of the conversation.